Michael Malloy, aka Mike the Durable, aka Iron Mike, aka the Juggernaut, aka Rasputin of the Bronx. Doesn't matter what they called him, this man was harder to kill than a cockroach. This time, truth is stranger than fiction. Okay, let's go. Michael Malloy was born in County Donegal, Ireland in 1873. Ooh. I know, it's another old one, what can I say? I'm a bit of a sucker for him. I couldn't find anything about his upbringing, I couldn't find anything about his childhood, his family, life in Donegal, nothing. So, we're just gonna start from his relocation to the US of A. The 5 Points in New York was full of people who immigrated from Ireland and Italy, unsurprising given what we know about America and how they treat people that are not white or US born. The 5 Points was a neighborhood that was overcrowded, dangerous, disease-ridden. It was basically a slum. Now, I can't confirm that he resided at the 5 Points, but given that his favorite speakeasy was less than 6 miles away, we can assume that he probably did. In the early months of 1920, Malloy immigrated to New York, where he found employment as a firefighter for a minute, but he wouldn't find himself there for long. He became a drunk, a homeless, before he even hit the dirty 30s.
Oh, I was going to say, was he attractive? Because I don't know, just that accent already, and I was like, a firefighter in New York, and then you said homeless, and okay.
You're like, no.
No.
It's tucked back in.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he's Irish.
Oh.
Now, how was this for bad luck? Imagine being an alcoholic, moving to the US the year Prohibition starts, and dying the year it ends.
Huh?
I don't need to go through the details of the Prohibition. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows what it was. No making the booze, no transporting the booze, no selling the booze.
Don't have fun.
That part.
Yeah.
Anyway, spoiler alert, Malloy dies. But today's case isn't that straightforward, and it's the details leading up to his death that make today's true crime a weird one.
Oh.
Malloy would frequent the speakeasy. I'm sure he frequented a few, to be honest, because this man could drink. He would spend over 8 hours a day. That's a full-time job and then some.
Yeah, he was putting in the work.
Yeah, I don't think he was taking weekends. Anyway, back to the speakeasy. I'm not sure there was a specific name for it because they're kind of supposed to be a bit low-key, but it was owned by Tony Marino. So let's call it the Marino Speakeasy, which was on 3rd Street. Once a bustling business, the speakeasy wasn't doing so anymore. Because don't forget, not only was Prohibition a thing, but they were also at the beginning of the Great Depression, 1929.
Yeah, one time you bought a drink.
Anyway, due to finances, Tony would allow people to run up tabs, which in the early days could be paid off, but soon enough people didn't have the money to cover the cost of their own drinking.
I don't know, that is like one of the worst ideas ever. Running a tab in a bar with alcoholics. Not
During the Great Depression.
Yeah, no.
During Prohibition.
No.
Because if they don't pay the bills, how are you going to get your money back?
Yeah, you're not getting your money back.
Yeah. Malloy had been frequenting the speakeasy for a while, starting early each day, asking for another morning if you don't mind. Basically, he was asking for a drink to start his day.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, this would turn into a whole day event until he would be passed out on the floor. Malloy was one of the men who could drink but never foot the bill.
Oh, I was going to say the same. I always pay.
I mean, you more than pay.
Yeah.
For Christ's sake. Christ on a cracker. Christ, you are a cracker.
Oh, it hurts to laugh. Christ is a cracker.
On Tony's own admission, business was bad. So, he felt he had to devise a plan to get himself out of trouble. So, Tony devised a plan with 4 of his close friends. Joseph Murphy, Francis Pasqua, Hershey Green, and Daniel Kreisberg. See, no one really knew Malloy on a personal level, but they knew he was from Ireland, had no friends or family, and no one knew the exact date of his birth. To me, that seemed a little suspicious.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
One July afternoon in 1933, the 5 of them would be hanging out at Marino Speakeasy. Malloy on the floor in a drunken stupor. Do you remember that word?
Stupor. What do you think, I'm stupor or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One July afternoon in 1933, the 5 of them would be hanging out at Marino Speakeasy. Malloy on the floor in a drunken stupor when Pasqua suggested they take insurance out on Malloy, stating that he can take care of the rest. See, what you don't know about Marino is that he had pulled some shit like this before, befriending some homeless broad named Mabel Carson a year prior, convincing her to take out a $2,000 life insurance, naming Tony the beneficiary.
Oh, Maple.
Mabel.
Maple.
I'm trying to stop you laughing. I don't know what to do.
2,000 years later.
It's Mabel.
Oh, that's right. I was so ribs.
It's so broken.
Anyway, after the papers were filled in, he force-fed her alcohol one cold winter's evening before stripping her clothes off, dousing her sheets and blankets in ice water, and then moving the bed beneath an open window.
Oh my god.
The official report was that she died of bronchial pneumonia, and Marino collected the money, and everyone else was none the wiser.
Holy shit. Fuck.
Italians, it was kind of smart. So Mario agreed, gesturing to Malloy and adding, he looks all in. He ain't got much left longer anyhow, this stuff's getting him. They looked to Kreisberg for confirmation, who would later state that he went along with it, but only for the sake of his family. All in agreement, they decided to put their plan into motion, recruiting someone to accompany him to the meeting with the insurance agents. The person he recruited would go by the name of Nicholas Mallory, an alias, who would list his occupation as a florist.
Yeah, really subtle. You smell the flowers.
No, he's pushing up daisies.
Yeah. Oh.
That is kind of smart.
Oh. Yeah, shit. Okay.
I didn't think about that before, but that's kind of smart. It's bad, but smart. But don't do it, see? He's a bad guy. It would take Pasqua roughly 5 months to secure 3 policies, with the help of an amoral insurance agent. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, aren't they all? All 3 policies had double indemnity, which in layman's terms is just like, under certain circumstances, the payment would double. Say, for instance, if the death was accidental.
Ruh-roh.
And they would do this through 2 different insurance places. 2 policies with Prudential Life Insurance Company, and the last one with Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute, weren't there more men involved in this scheme?
Wait a minute, Joey. Isn't there more men involved in the scheme?
Yes, there were. And this is where Joseph Murphy would factor into the equation. He would be listed as Nicholas Mallory's next of kin, the person who would identify the body. Are you following so far?
Yeah.
Oh, also, the policies would be for about $3,576, which doesn't seem like much, but with inflation today, that would be about $54,000.
What the fuck? That's a lot. For someone with no job
Yeah,
and who's a drunk. Shit.
but the insurance company don't know that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And on top of that, they're lying about it anyway, so. But remember, that needs to be split. So it's not for everyone. The cut would end up being about $894, which would be the equivalent to about $10,500 in today's money.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but honestly, it doesn't seem like that much for someone's life. I'll do it for less.
I'd do it for fun.
The group of 5 conspiring to kill Malloy would grow to 9, with the addition of some other patrons, also petty criminals, joining in on the plan. So John McNally, Edward Smith, who, fun fact, had a fake ear made of wax.
What? That's not what he heard out of that.
Probably
wax
what he
ear.
said, though.
What the fuck? That's weird. Okay.
And don't forget, tough Tony Bastoni.
Oh, not Tony Bastoni.
Yeah. And he had a sidekick
Yeah.
named Joseph Malioni.
Oh, of course he did.
It would be December 1932 when they would all gather to put the killing into motion. So how they planned to kill Malloy was, it was interesting. At first, they figured, let's give this man what he really wants. What he really, really wants. He likes a drink. So let's give it to him.
Oh.
So what did they do? They opened up the bar for him to drink for free. Yeah, Tony claimed that he was easing up the rules because of local competition. But you don't need to explain anything past free drinks to an alcoholic to have them chomping at the bit.
That's dumb because alcoholics can drink a lot. Okay, continue.
Tony would refill the glass the second it was empty. His arm was getting sore from the repeated action. Finally, once Malloy had his fill, he wiped his sleeve across his mouth, thanked them for their hospitality, and said, I'll be back. And he was, less than 24 hours later.
Huh.
He was polite.
Yeah. What was the point of that? Okay.
This would happen for 3 days in a row. He paused long enough to eat some complimentary sardine sandwiches
Ew.
and resumed drinking.
Ew.
The would-be killers were stumped. They thought he was already at death's door with how much he'd already been drinking at this point. They were hoping that he would at least choke on his own vomit or fall and crack his head open. But to everyone's surprise, day 4 rolled around and he came back in for a drink, exclaiming, "Boy, ain't I got a thirst?"
He's an alcoholic. Try harder.
No. That's not right. After Plan A failed, Tough Tony was getting bored of waiting and wanted someone to pop him full of lead. Wanting to stick to the plan, they all deployed Plan B. They would replace the shots of whiskey and gin with wood alcohol, aka methanol or methylated spirits.
Ruh-roh.
Now, they thought of this because it was widely known, at least at the time, that even a small amount of the stuff could cause blindness. And we were talking only about 4% would have this effect on people. And they were serving it to him straight.
Shit.
And Marino was buying the stuff by the can. It was like 10 cents a can, so it was kind of cheap. And the others were getting more enthusiastic by the day. They would give him a couple of real shots first and then end up switching it to the wood alcohol, and he drank more and more. But nothing happened other than him getting drunk. He drank as much wood alcohol as they would serve him, and he kept coming back for more.
He's an alcoholic. Alcoholism 101.
Sounds like it gave him some superpowers.
I bet it fucking did.
Night after night, he would return for the same stuff until one evening, without warning, he crumpled to the floor. Everyone went silent, and everyone waited on bated breath. Pascal even knelt down over his body, feeling for a pulse, and checked if he was breathing. Everyone was getting more and more excited until Malloy started snoring.
What the fuck?
Malloy would wake in a few hours, and he said, "Give me some more of the old regular, me lad." Plan B also failed, and now they realized how much this was starting to cost them.
Yeah.
Now, can you guess who gets impatient?
Tony Bastoni?
Tough Tony Bastoni again with the gun talk. But the original crew really wanted the money, especially the double indemnity. Here comes Plan C.
Oh, God.
Just like Plan A and B, Plan C was also in the ballpark of poisoning. But this time, they would mess with the man's food. And also, they were spending much more money. These guys aren't the brightest, huh?
He ingested poison, didn't work. Maybe we'll sprinkle it on his food to ingest poison, and that will work.
No, not even that smart. They planned to get oysters. Soak them in denatured alcohol. That's ethanol that has like poisonous additives and foul taste and shit to stop people drinking it.
Yeah.
They would leave them in there for a few days and serve them to Malloy after he had a few drinks. And so they did. And he gobbled them up one by one, washing them down with the wood alcohol. They watched him in anticipation, but all he did was lick his fingers and belch.
Okay, murder? Wrong. Line up all these fucking numbskulls and just whack them all in the head.
Now don't be surprised. It's time for Plan D.
Oh, God.
Which Murphy led this time. And his idea was to let a tin of sardines rot for a few days.
Oh, my God.
Mix in some shrapnel and make a sandwich for old Malloy. This excitement and anticipation for the payoff grew to dismay as he finished the meal and asked for another one.
Oh, fucking hell. Seriously, I can't. I'm getting triggered.
What, because he won't die?
No, because he's fucking idiots. Like, you're gonna kill someone. Fucking hell. You
Yeah.
don't deserve that money.
They didn't deserve it to begin with. But here we are.
Oh, God.
Anyway, it's not working out, so they had to call an emergency meeting of the minds because nothing is working. Marino suggested he repeat the process he followed with Mabel.
Look, my mind went to there as well.
Now, this had worked before, so why not try it again? Plan E was now in motion. They waited for Malloy to get drunk before putting him in the back seat of Pasqua's vehicle and drove to a place called Crotona Park, where they dragged him through the snow. They found a park bench and they laid him down on it before stripping his clothes off and dumping bottles of water on his chest and on his head, and they left him.
All right.
Marino found Malloy at the speakeasy the following morning, half frozen in the basement.
Oh, my God. This motherfucker don't die.
I know. It's like the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just couldn't stay away.
That was wild, though. Like, that's wild.
Anyway, when he got to the speakeasy, he spoke to Murphy and convinced him to let him in. So he went and had a sleep down in the basement. But then when he woke up, he complained of a wee chill. I've got a wee chill. Plan E was a bust. Plan F would take the form of an accidental hit and run, but this would also involve a further split of an already dwindling payout. They would recruit Harry Green, a cab driver.
You've already got 9 people. You don't need another one.
10 now, yeah.
Sure, one of you drives? Fucking idiots.
Yeah, but he probably didn't want to fuck up his car.
Fucking idiots.
Pasqua had a roadster.
Fucking idiots.
Okay, got your points.
Oh my god, these fucking numbskulls.
The men all piled into a car.
Oh, fuck me.
All of them. Do you know what I was thinking?
Three Stooges fucking clown car.
Clown car. Clown car. Anyway, they drove a few blocks before Bastoni and Murphy dragged Malloy down the road, each holding an outstretched arm one by one, kind of like the crucifixion of Christ.
Why do you do this to me?
Hey, this one's different to my normal stuff, though, no? This is kind of fun. This episode's kind of fun.
This is like
this
is like a fucking movie from the 1930s that's gone wrong mixed with the Three Stooges. Like, fucking hell. Come on.
Yeah. The engine revved, but then they stopped because they saw like a flashing light in the corner, but it turns out that the lady just entered the room, whatever. They tried again, this time driving at Malloy, and even though he was skunk drunk, he jumped out the way. Not just once, but twice.
Oh my fucking, stay there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He had his wits about him. On the third attempt, however, they would hit Malloy head on at 50 miles per hour, which is 80 miles an hour for people living everywhere else but the US. Hearing a loud thud as he hit the hood of the car, and then a softer thud as his body hit the ground behind the car. I think. For good measure, they reversed over his body, and they were confident that he was dead. Murphy would call around different hospitals and morgues to try to locate Malloy. Remember, he was to pretend that he was the brother of Nicholas Mallory. After all, he just needed to locate the missing sibling, but no one had any information, and it had been 5 days, and there was nothing in the papers. So now they had a dead man they couldn't get money for, so they wasted their time, and they had bills to pay. Because remember, they still had to pay the insurance policy while this guy was alive.
Fucking idiots.
So they decided to go and kill another drunkard that wouldn't be missed. Here we go again.
Oh my fucking god.
I sure am dying for a drink. They heard as the door swung open and in limps Malloy. Battered and bruised, but very much alive.
Oh my god.
He told them what he could remember, but it wasn't much, obviously, because he was back at the speakeasy. On February 21st, 1933, Malloy's body would be found in a tenement on 168th Street, less than a mile from Marino's speakeasy. Looks like they kind of got sick of waiting for it to look natural, so they strapped a rubber tube that ran from a gaslight fixture to his mouth before wrapping his face in a towel.
This motherfucker was fed poisons, run over not once but twice,
Left out to freeze, fed shrapnel.
and then they're like, fuck it, let's tape his mouth. Like, the wild.
Something kind of tells me that that's probably more of like a tough Tony move.
Yeah, shot.
Do they just
Take
allow it?
yeah.
I don't know.
That is wild.
Pasqua had a friend who was a dodgy doctor, Dr. Frank Manzella. He had him fill in a phony death certificate citing lobar pneumonia as the cause of death. In total, the group only received a payout of $800 from the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. That's like $88 each. And Murphy and Marino spent their share on a new suit.
Fuck me.
The downfall was when Pasqua paid the Prudential Office a visit, looking for the money from the other two policies, and was stumped when they asked to see the body. He told them he can't do that because the body's already been buried. And this resulted in an investigation, and everyone ratted on each other. They all faced charges.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah,
They
none of
deserve
them.
to face charges.
Look, I don't disagree. Frank Pasqua, Tony Marino, Daniel Kreisberg, and Joseph Murphy were tried and convicted of first-degree murder. Perhaps, one reporter mused, the grinning ghost of Mike Malloy was present in the Bronx County Courthouse. All 4 of them were sent to the electric chair at Sing Sing, and would you believe it? They were all killed on the very first try.
Because that's how you do it right.
The end. Look, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
That's wild. What a fucking wild ride.
What do I write? Look, there's a couple of things that I missed out on there, but I was like, I wanted to keep it kind of linear, you know? Because apparently the cab driver, he got like a $120 cut. That was what he was scheduled in for.
This just sounds like a fake movie. Like, it's just like, it's a movie. It's not real. That didn't
I
happen.
know. They need to make a film on it.
Well, they do.
I wonder if one exists.
I wouldn't be surprised because that's
Yeah.
wild.
Final thoughts?
Fucking idiots.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
See ya.